Hello, podcast world, fellow horticulturists, lovers of plants, gardeners, family, and friends. Welcome to Shrubby Buddies, the podcast, friends with woodies for garden goodies. I'm host Matt Guthrie.
And I'm host Tim Fleischer. Coming at you from Central Ohio, Zone 6B. We're just a couple of public horticulturists and certified arborists with experience in education, landscape design, gardening, retail, and wholesale.
So grab a drink, polish your pruners, dust off that kneeling pad, and let's get down to business. Hello, fellow plant lovers. I'm Matt, joined with
Tim.
And this is the Shrubby Buddies podcast. Episode 2, recording right now. Episode 1, last week I think went pretty well. We did April showers bring April flowers. I don't know what exactly we were expecting of that, but I think it exceeded our expectations. Wouldn't you say, Tim?
Absolutely. When we were done, I was like, that sounds pretty good. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from people close to us, and there's definitely some constructive criticism, which, we're definitely going to work on those things. But all in all, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, so if you have criticism, if you don't follow us on Instagram yet, follow us, Shrubby Buddies Podcast on the gram. Give us a follow, leave us comments, leave us messages with any constructive criticism, any feedback you can give us, that'd be great. So yeah, episode 2. Before we dive into episode 2, what's been going on this week for you, Tim? I know anything good going on in your gardens at home? Anything you want to share with the world?
Yeah, so the gardens are banging, just absolutely putting out blooms and new growth. It's fantastic. But right now, the highlight in our gardens is the tree peony. We have a really nice blush pink tree peony, and it has 9 blooms this year. I count the blooms every year. I think last year it had 6, so we've gained 3 blooms, and they are just, they're the size of my daughter's head.
6 last year and 9 this year?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
69.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's
all right. Very good.
You got that right. You got that right, Bob.
Cool. Yeah,
How about you?
In my gardens, there's nothing that's really like wowing me right now. Everything's definitely waking up for the season. There's a few things that are straggling a little behind, like the spigelias in the shade area. The Sun King Aurelia is starting to make its appearance a little bit. Still kind of early though, But yeah, nothing that just wows me. I've been putting some new edging in between my front flower beds and my sidewalk to try and hold some of the mulch in. So that's pretty boring, but I guess it's exciting for me. Japanese maples are looking good in the back. They've all fleshed out their nice new leaves, and everything's looking good there.
You must not have deer, because
no deer.
Our Japanese maple got terrorized by a deer, and I just hope it recovers.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of deer here. Occasionally there's deer, but I also have the fence in the backyard, which I think keeps most of the deer out.
Keeps the dogs in, deer
out for the most part. I mean, they're definitely not up close to the house, though, getting into stuff if we do get them in the backyard. I'm sure that they have jumped the fence, but I don't know. Don't seem to have too much deer pressure in our backyard. So yeah, enough of the rambling. So tree peonies, nothing super wowing me right now other than some edging and some Japanese maples. But regardless, things will start to really shine here soon.
Matt likes a good edging.
Apparently. Yeah, I never thought I'd get excited about edging. But here we are. So, so episode 2, Tim, what are we going to talk about in episode 2 of Shrubby Buddies, the podcast?
In episode 2, we're going to help you please your mom on Mother's Day.
All right.
Mother's Day is just around the corner, be about a week and a half, so this should give you enough time to maybe, hear an idea in this podcast that, tickles your fancy. And, instead of just a last minute trip to get generic grocery store bouquet, you can, maybe try one of these ideas and, please the mother in your life.
Yeah, I like it. So, ideas for the gardening mom.
Absolutely. Yep.
All stuff for the mom that likes to get out in the garden and work. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic topic, creeping up on Mother's Day here. I work part-time, as you know, in a greenhouse, Dutch mill greenhouse here in Marysville, part of the Leo Burby Bulb Company. It's kind of their retail side of things. But yeah, this past weekend, we had hanging baskets just rolling off the shelf. Like crazy, people talking Mother's Day, people thinking Mother's Day, and it's only going to get busier. So I think that this is a great topic that we can discuss today. So why don't you get us started on some stuff there?
Yeah. So what's unique about Mother's Day here in Central Ohio is it's kind of the absolute frost-free date. If you look back in time, there's not frost from Mother's Day and beyond. So it's a very popular gardening weekend. So something that I think is great to do with mom is get her out to the garden center on Mother's Day. Fair warning, the garden center is very busy on Mother's Day, super busy. So getting an early start is great. And so getting out to the garden center, maybe letting mom go on a little bit of a shopping spree would be a good start for a gift. Say, hey, go for it. What are you wanting to add to the gardens? What types of things do you want to put in your containers? Let's do this. Because let me tell you, those garden centers, they're fully stocked. I mean, they do their ordering based on Mother's Day. The stuff's rolling in and they will be fully stocked on Mother's Day.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's a good start for perhaps an event that you can do as a family on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Go out, get a coffee, go to the garden center, walk around, spend a ton of money, and maybe grab brunch or something afterwards, right?
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah, if I know a mother, they love a good brunch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who doesn't love a good brunch? I do.
I do.
Yeah. Who we can. If you know us, you know we like a good
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay. So, shopping spree at a garden center for Mother's Day. Maybe a little coffee stop. Coffee stop for sure, or tea if you do that. Maybe your mom likes a nice tea or a nice chai,
or perhaps Bloodies.
Or now we're talking.
Yeah,
Bloody Marys.
I think if I was taking my wife out on Mother's Day, she'd want to stop and get some Bloodies before. Well, probably after, because like I said, we want to get there nice and early to the garden center. But yeah,
okay,
so
good deal. Yeah, Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
All right, so rolling right along here. So the shopping spree, I think, staying in line with the whole garden center thing, kind of generic, but works every time. Hanging baskets, and that's what the garden centers push the most on Mother's Day is going in and getting that big, beautiful, hanging basket for sun or shade. They've got anything, any color combination we could think of anymore. Like I said, I know we've been, selling them like crazy, and we're going to sell a ton of them come Mother's Day weekend. But yeah, I think, find out what your mom likes flower-wise, what colors she likes, things like that. Growing up, we always got my mom fern baskets for her back pergola. She put those big Boston fern baskets and stuff, so we would always get her those. She loved fuchsias, so we would get her some fuchsias for the shade. So hanging baskets. Like I said, a little generic, but it works.
And if you want to go a step further, a lot of the garden centers sell empty hanging baskets, so you could do, a nice like basket, metal basket with the what's the liner called?
Like a cocoa liner.
Cocoa
or
liner.
One of those sphagnum moss
Mm-hmm.
liners.
Those are kind of in right now. And then buy a bag of potting soil and pick out some colors that you like. Maybe you're in full sun, maybe you're in full shade, or somewhere in between, so you can really choose the exact combination that mom likes. So maybe she goes out and does that on her own and, leaves the kids at home or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe you all go out as a family and, mock up a little basket, take it home, and everyone pitches in and plants it and hangs it up. And, that's, you're going to spend a little more money up front because you're buying your baskets, but then you can save those baskets and use those in the future. And the same goes with containers, pots that sit up on your front porch or on your back patio. You can go inexpensive with those, or you could buy some super nice, clay pots that come in all kinds of different colors and shapes and sizes and designs.
Like the glazed ceramic pots and things. Yeah.
And then fill those up with beautiful annuals and perennials, and then you can use those, in the winter. You could put greens in those. You can just kind of each season change those out, and you've always got a little decor there. Yeah. So definitely a little more money on the front end, but after that first year, you're saving a lot of money because you're not buying pre-made baskets and pre-made containers.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And every mom's worth that little extra money on the front end, if you know what I'm saying. I'm speaking your language.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir there.
Absolutely. So something else too, kind of garden center related. If you're in there at the garden center, you don't want to go the flower route, but you still want to get your gardening mom something for Mother's Day. Put together a gardening basket for her, like a goodie bag of tools. So, we've talked about like 5-gallon buckets, or you can get, I think some garden centers probably sell like wicker baskets. I know like at the Farm and Fleet type stores, here in where we're out in Central Ohio, we have like Tractor Supply Company and Rural King, and they sell these super flexible, I don't know if they're like feeding buckets, but they have handles on them and you can get them all kinds of crazy colors. Something like that. You could put like some gardening gloves in and like a kneeling pad, maybe some
bypass pruners,
a
handsaw,
a soil knife. Like we get stuff through like A.M. Leonard, and they sell all of this stuff there. You'd have to order that stuff online, unfortunately. But like a soil knife or a hori knife, which
I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to put you on the spot, Matt.
Put me on it.
So Matt mentioned a soil knife, a perennial knife, a hori knife. These are all words for it. Do you know where the word hori comes from? The term hori?
Japan.
It does come from Japan, but do you know what it means? Because I looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like to know?
I would. I've been waiting.
So, the Japanese word for dig is hori. So when they put hori and hori together, that's the onomatopoeia for digging, like the digging sound, dig.
Yeah, okay.
So that's where hori comes from.
Knowledge nugget.
Yeah, how about that? So I've always wondered the same thing because I don't know, hori sounds scary to me.
I mean, I wasn't wondering, but thank you.
I don't know. The term just sounds scary to me.
Yeah.
It frightens me. And I looked it up, and it just means dig.
Dig.
In Japanese. So
dig. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, hori knife. And we're not sponsored by anyone. God, this is episode 2. I mean, I know we're banging with these things, and like all 80 podcast views or listens that we've had, people are starting to knock on the door, but we haven't accepted offers yet. But we will talk products, and we will throw some names out there. But yeah, so we prefer Felco printers. If you're a gardener, you're a hardcore arborist, horticulturist, you've heard of Felco. They're the #1 brand in printers. there's companies making pruners that are very similar to Felco's in design and even in look. But what are they, like Swedish? That engineering's great. You can replace every single part on a Felco. So if it goes bad, you order the new little whatever part it is, fix it, you resharpen them. They should literally last you the rest of your life.
Yeah, I've been using the same pair of Felco 8s for the last 12 years-ish, and I've replaced the blade a number of times, and the handles are the same, and I might have replaced spring, but for the most part, it's the same exact pair I got 12 years ago, and I love them. I love them so much.
So Felco printers, but yeah, we don't want to get too off track on just going over brands of stuff, so we'll get ourselves back on track here. So a goodie bag for Mom. Did I mention kneeling pad? I wanted to make sure that kneeling pad was in there on that.
Well, hey, but gardening moms kneel too.
Yep. For sure.
And it's hard on the knees. I use a kneeling pad when I kneel in the garden. So, and they come in all kinds of colors, and some are foam and
what other material?
I don't know.
Only ones I've ever known are foam, but.
Yeah, but some are that shiny foam and some are that matte foam. So
we get shiny foam and dull foam. So So gift basket for Mom full of garden tool goodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Tim, what's next on the list? We've gone over some garden center goods, garden center ideas. We got any more garden center ideas over there? That you're thinking?
Well, actually, I'm going to shift gears a little bit.
Shift them.
Yeah, I'm shifting. So something that I think is a very unique gift would be a cut flower CSA.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with these?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're not familiar with just a CSA in general, stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and it's basically a farm who is growing produce or flowers or eggs, raising eggs.
Yeah.
Raising chickens that lay eggs. Anyhow, you pay a share to them. It's a one down payment, and then every week for that season, May through October, you get a box or some bags of the produce. And as the season goes, the produce you get changes. So you might get some fruits and some greens, and it always varies. And they are fantastic if you like to cook, especially with these vegetable and fruit and vegetable and egg and other honey CSAs. But a cut flower CSA is what I just described, but with cut flowers. So every week you stop at the local farmer's market or the meetup place designated by the CSA you choose, and you get a beautiful bouquet of cut flowers for your, the center of your kitchen table or wherever you might put those. But it's great because it changes week to week, and it's amazing what these places can put together. And we have for a few years done this in our home. We've used Watson's Acres in Sunbury, Ohio, and it's a really lovely couple that owns it, and they are at our local farmers market, and I stop in once a week, get the bouquet, and it's amazing. It's just incredible. And like we mentioned earlier, it's nothing you're going to get at your local grocery store, flower section.
These are high quality cut flowers, homegrown, like
it's what's in season now.
What's in season. The women and the men that are putting these things together just do a fantastic job. I know a mutual friend of ours that owns So Local in Dublin, Julia, if you're listening, this is a little shout out to you. So Local, they do the flower arrangement subscriptions also. They have like a bi-weekly and monthly subscription, I think, that she does. I haven't subscribed to it, but I bought bouquets of flowers off her when she's been,
as have I,
selling them and stuff. And it's such a nice little touch, to have that different flower arrangement on your kitchen table or your dining room table, a place where your family gathers and eats, or hangs out or whatever. just to have that different flower arrangement every couple of weeks, or even if it's just once a month, just a little change of scenery in the house, kind of bringing the outside indoors. Yeah, I love it. I think that's a great idea myself. Yeah, the CSA, cut flower CSA. So, good job.
Yeah, and you know what? It can be a little pricey, but if you think about if you're the type of family who always just has cut flowers out in your gathering area, well, it's probably a better deal if you just pay for it all at once rather than week by week. I think at the end of the day, it ends up being really good deal, and you have just gorgeous flowers. So,
yep.
So
good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Cool. So cut flower CSA. So this one would be like maybe something that like kids. So any dads that are out there listening, get your young kids on board for this.
Or moms.
Yeah. So, a lot of times kids want to do things for their moms. But maybe they don't, maybe they're in an age where they don't have a job, so they don't make any money, so they can't afford to buy something for mom. So something for kids that kids could do to help mom out. Offer to weed the garden, offer to deadhead flowers, offer to help mulch or help edge, whatever that they can do to get outside, to help. I promise you that your mom will love you for it. Because it's a lot of work getting out there. And, even with a good, glossy or matte kneeling pad, either one, it's a lot of work on, and it's hard on the knees and stuff.
Yeah. And kids don't need kneeling pads.
Yeah. Kids don't need kneeling pads. They're still young.
They're resilient.
So yeah, so I think that's a good one. All it is just time, doesn't cost any money to help mom, pull some weeds, prune some shrubs, prune some flowers, deadhead some flowers, whatever it may be.
I hated weeding when I was a kid. I had to weed and hated it so much, but I always remembered it. And now that I'm an adult, I don't know, I just feel a different connection to weeding, and I do find it therapeutic. And so even though the kids might not love it now, it might instill something in them that you didn't realize would.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe you have like a vegetable garden. And I mean, come on. We all know that no one in their right mind likes to go out and weed around all of those vegetables in a big vegetable garden. It's the worst. So yeah, have the kids get out there on their hands and knees and start crawling around between them ears of corn and them bushes of beans, and get them weeds pulled.
the maters
and the peppers. So yeah, so kids help in the garden. That would be a good free gift that mom would love. She would appreciate very much.
And if you want to take that a step further, and it wouldn't be free at this point, but you have you and the children renovate some area of the yard that maybe mom's been saying year after year, oh, we have to do something with that area. It's so ugly. And, maybe that's a little hint, like, let's take care of that. So maybe you and the children get out and, get to the garden center and buy a bunch of stuff to surprise her. And then you go out and plan it and renovate an area. I know that my wife and I did that for my mom once. Oh gosh, must have been 15 years ago. We just showed up and bought a bunch of plants and planted a little perennial garden for her. And to this day, it's like one of her favorite areas of the yard, and it's almost identical to when we planted it. So
yeah,
I love how much she's appreciated it. So
yeah, so kind of taking it a step further than just the weeding, but actually doing a whole bed renovation. Mm-hmm. So that's where the kids could definitely get in and help on that, help with the labor end of it. But yeah, getting some nice perennials, maybe some nice flowering shrubs or evergreen shrubs, and just doing a nice little planting. Yeah, good call on that. Yeah, so What else? I know there was something you specifically wanted to talk about that had to do with planting. One that I thought was a really good idea. It involved a tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you want to hit on that, and I think that it's a really good idea. But yeah,
So another idea for mom is to, buy her a plant, like just one thing that's super special that will be special for her. So, perhaps the mom in your life, her mother just loved lilacs, and just something that reminds her of her childhood is taking cuttings of the lilac flowers and bringing them in and perfuming the house. Yep. So buying her kind of an old-fashioned lilac that might remind her of her mother, just something like along those lines. And so a couple of ideas that Matt and I talked about with this would be maybe a commemorative tree for somebody. So maybe you have a small child or small children and you want to plant a tree kind of in their honor that will grow with them through the years. So buying a tree, getting it planted, and watching the tree grow, having it maybe every year when that tree looks its best, you take a little family photo around the tree. It's a really nice idea. Or perhaps
first day of school pics, all of that stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Or perhaps maybe you plant a tree for your mother, for the mother in your life whose mother or father or someone close to them has recently passed away, and it's kind of a commemorative thing. That could be something that mom might really love the sentiment of. So
yeah, and any tree. I mean, really what I would suggest is maybe you have a tree in mind, and that's wonderful. Going to your garden center and talking to your garden center about a good tree that would work. Maybe you want it flowering. Maybe you want something that's going to grow to be a big, beautiful shade tree, that will provide shade in the yard, or maybe for a deck or a patio or something for years to come. But yeah, you had mentioned tree peony as being, that would be more of a smaller ornamental tree that you could put in the garden.
Tree peony would be like that would be one of those real special plants. Like, look, we got you a tree peony, and like tree peony, what's that? But then you plant it in the ground and maybe show her some pictures of what a tree peony can be. And I mean, it's really, a tree peony it's a peony that has woody stems. So instead of dying back to the ground each year, it continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger each year. And the flowers are massive, and they come in all the peony colors. They smell delicious. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'd eat them up.
Have you ever eaten a peony? They call it, what did they call you in college?
They call me I'll eat anything, Tim.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten a peony?
Probably.
Did you get peony belly? Did you get the bubble guts from a peony belly?
That's a different story for a different day, but I have gotten magnolia belly before.
Yeah. Buzzard breath.
Yeah. Had to leave work early that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'm sure they're delicious. Although don't quote me on that. Google it first, because
please. Don't take his word for it.
Yeah.
So commemorative tree, back on track.
Absolutely. Commemorative tree, like a special plant. If you live in an area where azaleas do well, perhaps get mom an azalea, because that's a beautiful bloomer. Hydrangeas, those make a great kind of one special plant. But yeah, for sure. You mentioned azaleas. I know here where we are in Central Ohio, azaleas and rhododendrons, just everybody wants them. Yeah, just don't.
Beautiful.
Don't do it.
It just doesn't work here. Hydrangeas they're not going to be blue here where we live. Just live with it. Just deal with it, people.
Yeah, they're gonna
accept it for what it is.
The hydrangea macrophyllus, they're going to be pink, and if they even bloom at all.
Yeah. So yeah, just make sure if you do the azalea rhododendron, some of those plants that that are looking for that more acidic soil. Just do your research on that and make sure that, right plant, right place, that you're doing it justice by planting it in an area where the soil is going to be right for it. So last but not least on the list,
please a mother.
Please a mother. Well,
please, come on. Please a mother with one last thing.
One last thing. I'm going to please you, mother.
Judy.
An indoor plant. Maybe you've got a mom that doesn't spend a lot of time outside in the garden, and that's 100% okay. But a mom that likes plants, maybe has some indoor plants, or something of that nature. So an indoor plant, you could be super generic with this, or you could get real fancy with it. You could go to any of your big box stores, and not a knock on them, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. They have a lot of different indoor plants, but sometimes they aren't the best quality. You get insects and things, but maybe finding mom a nice philodendron, or finding mom a really nice, neat, rare succulent, something super low maintenance, a pothos, something viney, something that would be easy to take care of, or like a neat sansevieria or snake plant. I could go on and on about different indoor plants. But anyways, find something that you think mom would like for an indoor plant, and then buy a nice pot to put it in. Get some good soil, plant it up for her. Get soil that's got good drainage. Do your research on the indoor plants if you go that route. They're very, very finicky about watering, especially in the soil that they're in. So do your research. We're not going to go too in depth with all of that. But yeah, an indoor plant, something cool like that. I know last year, I think one of the guys that we work with did something for, I don't know if it was Mother's Day, but he did that, bought a really nice pot and nice potting soil and did like a bunch of succulents in it to get. It could have been Mother's Day, or it might have been for his girlfriend. I don't know. Either way, really cool idea. Also, something else to think about. Maybe you have a mom that just doesn't do a lot of plants, but loves to cook. I personally have I think they're called arrow gardens, and you could go that route. So it's like a little hydroponic all-in-one system. You put these little pods down in that have the seed, and they have a grow light, and you add water and fertilizer, and it grows herbs, vegetables, whatever, like crazy. So we've got one that's got it holds 6 pods, I think, and we've got 6 different types of herbs that are just busting out everywhere. Fits perfect on the kitchen counter. It's one of those things you could go over and clip off the herbs that you need and use in cooking. So that would be another option for maybe the mom that likes to cook but doesn't have a green thumb. It's very easy to use, pretty affordable.
Yeah, and that actually brings up a good point that I didn't think of. Maybe the mom that likes to cook, an herb garden outside.
Yeah.
Even getting, maybe fashioning her a window box with some nice cedar.
Oh, yeah.
Planks and
what's great about that is you can put annual flowers in with it.
Correct.
To really doctor it up.
And you can plant that stuff in the ground too, because typically herbs, deer don't like them.
Yeah.
Deer don't like all that, the stuff that has the good flavor. So
yeah. I was just thinking, we were talking about indoor plants for the special mom in your life. And the arrow garden's great. It's so easy to use. It flashes red when it needs water. It'll flash red when it wants fertilizer, and you just give it a little medicine cup thing of fertilizer and just fill it up with water when it needs it, and it waters itself. It's like a little
you just do what system. The robot says.
Yeah, literally. It's got a real nice grow light that is adjustable, so you keep it close as it's starting, and as the plants grow, you continue to move that light up, and it's awesome.
But
arrow garden, and you can get all kinds. You can get vegetables, you can get herbs, you can get flowers. Google search it.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't have much to add to the indoor plant conversation because it's not my thing.
Yeah,
I'm not an indoor planter. But if I could sum up what Matt just said, he wants to fill your mother's dendron.
Yeah. Let me philodendron.
Yeah. That's what I got from
That's all you got.
That's all I got from
That's
that.
all you got
So
from that. So
good drainage.
good draining soil.
Good
Yeah.
drainage. Fill your mom's dendron.
Okay. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Got it right.
So cool. Well, that kind of wraps up episode 2, I think. I hope that we listed something on there that maybe sticks, that maybe you had never thought of before, or maybe it gives you some fresh new ideas for mom. You got about a week and a half now.
Yeah.
So put this plan into action now.
Yeah. I mean, you could do something. You could do a service. We talked about those things. You could give something tangible. And don't forget, there's all types of moms. So, we might be talking about a spouse getting something for mom and including the kids or not including the kids, or maybe you're an adult who's trying to get something for your mother. So I think it's going to vary depending on the type of mom that you're shopping for, but doing, I think that it's all, mom will appreciate anything.
Yeah.
Really,
Absolutely.
but
She will. That at the end of the day, whatever you decide on, your mom will appreciate it.
and at the beginning of the day,
And at the beginning of the day, whatever you do for mom, she's gonna love it. So cool. Well, yeah, that wraps up week 2. I hope you guys enjoyed week 2. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening in week 1. I hope that we aren't disappointing. I hope that we're keeping this interesting enough that you're going to want to come back and continue to listen to us. We're going to do this weekly. Yeah, so until next time, next Wednesday, I guess, episode 3 will be dropping. So yeah, until next time, peace, we out.
thank you very much. We love you.